Hey guys, welcome back. James Appreciates here. So, today's going to be a very, very different kind of video. It's not about trains, not about anything else. Today's video is going to be specifically about game theory, MatPat. So, I'm going to be talking about his two Minecraft theories, his Enderman theory and his Wither theory. So, long story short, MatPat, Game Theory, concluded that before you spawn into Minecraft, because there's all those strongholds and whatnot, and fortresses, those were all built by builders that used to roam the earth before you did. And they went into the Nether. And when they went there, they decided to build all the nether brick fortresses. Now, turns out that after they built those, many lives were lost because it's literally a hellish place. And all those people died. So after that, they decided to bury the people that died after those zombie pigments and the ghasts and the blazes and whatnot. What they didn't know is that when they would bury them in the netherrack, that netherrack would take their soul and then be turned into soul sand, which is why they're called soul sand and why you see screaming faces inside the netherrack. And they would turn into wither skeletons instead of just normal skeletons or zombies in general. So they decided to cheat death. They thought, well, maybe we can turn these people, maybe we can get all of our friends, turn them back to life. So they started using magic. They put the soul sand together and put a wither skeleton head on top. It didn't work. And they started getting desperate. They thought, we gotta figure out a way. And eventually, they figured out a way. They put four soul sand blocks in a T formation and put 3 wither skeleton skulls on top of them. They created the wither. They created life, but not human life, not builder life. And this creature was angry at them for cheating Minecraft. They were mad at them because they had literally created life, which was impossible. So it started to kill them. They wanted to run away. So they decided to build those desert temples, the underwater temples, and even the strongholds, which is why they're called strongholds in general. So, yeah. Afterwards, it turns out that there's 2 blocks that the wither can't destroy. And those 2 blocks are the ender portal frame and the ender portal, the black portal block that looks like just space. Obviously, there's other blocks like bedrock and turned on pistons that it can't destroy, but those are some of the blocks. So they thought, hey, we went into portals before, why not do it again? We have to escape this wither. So they jumped into the portal. What they didn't realize was that this place had nothing but an ender dragon. They came completely unprepared. And they didn't realize that the only way to escape was to kill it. But they couldn't. So after many people died, they surrendered and decided to build these weird structures that were made out of endstone and purple blocks. So, the ender dragon had won, but they hid inside these buildings. They started eating chorus fruits and eventually learned the power of teleportation and turned into these ender dragons, or endermen. And even though they couldn't speak anymore human language, English, they still sort of kind of could. Some things that the endermen say sound like, hey, what's up, and look for the eye. Eye being the eye of Ender. Which is why when they die, they drop end pearls. And these ender pearls can be turned into eyes of Ender, which then can be put into the end portal frames, therefore making you able to go into the end. Which is why when you kill the ender dragon, you get the achievement Free the End. And you're basically freeing the Endermen from their homes. That's pretty much it. Except for the fact that there's something... Silverfish may have actually gone into the portal and turned into Endermite. Which is why Enderman and Endermite fight against each other. Now, something that MatPat doesn't explain is the fact that if they really did build the Wither, why isn't it still there when you spawn? It couldn't have died. It's an unkillable beast. Well, from anything in the overworld. Or so you think. So the builders decided to dig deep underground and build these strongholds because it would last them long enough to survive. But they went into these portals and, you know, what I explained before. Eventually, this Wither couldn't find these builders, so it looked everywhere. And eventually, it found these strongholds. It started destroying the blocks beneath it. And it found these strongholds. And it was trying to look for the builders. It didn't destroy anything because it tried to sneak up on them. But they couldn't find anything. Until they found the portal. Because when you jump into the portal, it doesn't just disappear. When you get back there. If you've ever played Minecraft, you know that when you jump into the portal and complete your mission, or even if you die and go back, the portal is still there. It's not just immediately destroyed as soon as you jump in. So the Wither tried to destroy this portal, but it couldn't. So it decided to jump in. Again, just like the builders, it didn't realize that it couldn't leave. And it didn't know about the Endermen. It didn't know these existed. It had only just been born like a few, maybe hours, days, even weeks ago. And it was mad. The Wither was mad and jealous. It was mad because it thought that the Ender Dragon, the beast that it saw within the end, was what killed these builders. It didn't know that these builders were actually turned into the Endermen. He didn't know that, but it was angry and jealous because it wanted to kill all those builders, but it couldn't because that Wither thought that they had all died because of this Ender Dragon. So it got mad, and it started to fight the Ender Dragon, and it lost. It lost because it didn't know about the healing. Those obsidian towers, those little purple blocks, yeah, those heal the Ender Dragon. It didn't know about those. It didn't know what they did. It thought the Ender Dragon was invincible, but it couldn't stop fighting. It just wanted to kill it. But it lost. And it died. And the Ender Dragon, after the Wither had died, the Ender Dragon just kept on flying. Kept on healing. And eventually, the Ender Dragon grew accustomed to these Endermen. Because it believed it was one of them. And the Ender Dragon was too dumb to realize that all these builders had been turned into these Endermen. It didn't know what they were, but it believed that they belonged there. So, what happened? The Ender Dragon thought that they had just jumped off because they were tired of living there. But really, they had turned into these Endermen. And the Ender Dragon believed that they should live there, so it didn't kill him. It didn't kill him. It didn't care. It didn't want to care. So, yeah, that is why you do not see the Wither that the builders built within your world. When you spawn, this is why you don't see the Wither. This is why some structures are destroyed when you see them. Because of the Wither. And just like MatPat said, those chiseled red blocks, those chiseled red sand blocks, have little hieroglyphics that look a lot like the Wither. A structure with weird lines and 3 heads, with 2 eyes on the large one in the middle. This is why it all makes sense. MatPat didn't mention about... This is my theory. My theory, long story short, is that the Wither was mad that the builders were gone, so it found its way to the strongholds, jumped into the portal, tried to kill the Ender Dragon because it thought that the Ender Dragon killed the builders, but it failed, and it died. Now, there are some exceptions to why my theory doesn't make sense. Like if the Wither really did dig its way down using its explosive head cannons, why are there no blocks digging straight down? And I'm thinking maybe it's the ravines. Maybe it went into a ravine instead of using his explosive head cannons to dig its way down. Because you know it can dig its way down. You know that it can go down. I've seen it happen before when I played Minecraft. It can go as deep as it wants as long as it's not past bedrock. So, there it is. But maybe it did go down a ravine. But if it did go down a ravine, did this ravine have the strongholds? Or did it have to go through the caves? Maybe the entire world was filled with stone. Maybe this whole world was just stone and dirt and ore. And that was it. And a few little pools of lava that no one saw. Maybe it made a crack in the ground, and those were the ravines. Maybe the Wither made the crack in the ground. And maybe it was all stone, but it used its explosive head cannons to create these little paths that you walk through to mine ore. Or maybe those were the doings of the builders. Maybe the Wither created those tiny holes you can walk through to mine ore. And it wasn't perfect because it can fly. This is why sometimes you may need to put a few blocks up in order to get to a certain tunnel within the caves. And eventually, after doing this for maybe even years, or maybe just hours, maybe it could have been days, could have been weeks, could have been months, years, could have taken forever. But eventually, since it couldn't die from anything in the overworld, nothing could kill the Wither in the overworld. Even in the underworld, the Nether, ghasts can't kill him. The Wither will just automatically destroy those ghasts. Same with blazes. And in the overworld, skeletons and zombies and hostile wolves can't kill the Wither. And it all adds up. Maybe the Wither did make those little tunnels. Maybe it did make those ravines. Was that why the ravines were created? Or maybe it is just part of the world that you're living in. You make yourself at home. But you find out about these end portals. You find out you can actually create them. Now maybe, somehow, maybe, those end portals, it's destroyed when you get back. How? That's a little bit confusing too. I don't have a theory for this, maybe a side theory, but how is that portal destroyed? The Wither can't destroy it. The Ender Dragon is killed. So if you go back, if you die in the end and you go back, it's still there. That didn't happen to the builders. The builders can't respawn. Why is the portal destroyed? It was already built by the builders. It was already built. They already went in there. Why are there only a few Eyes of Ender in there? Or none at all? There's nothing. Because everyone... Well, a lot of people should know that the Wither can't destroy end portal frames and Eyes of Ender. Can't destroy end portal frames and the portal blocks, the black space blocks themselves. There are certain limitations to what certain beasts in Minecraft can destroy. Nothing can truly be invincible. Bedrock is unbreakable. So, that's it. So, I want MatPat to explain this. I have 2 questions for MatPat. MatPat, 1. Do you agree with my theory? And if so, what made you think so? What convinced you? Or if you don't, tell me why. Is it that I'm wrong? MatPat's definitely not gonna see this video, but who knows? There's always a chance. And the second question for MatPat, is, explain what I said a couple minutes ago. Explain why the end portal is destroyed when you come back. Wither can't destroy it. The Ender Dragon is dead. It can't leave. Only you can. It's stuck there forever. A powerful beast. You can't destroy it. End portal blocks are... Well, end portal frames are indestructible. The Wither can't destroy it. Neither can you. So MatPat, explain that. That is my 16-second video. That is my 16-minute explanation video. Bye-bye.